How you guys doing?
Hi, Heather.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on your live stream today.
Oh, well, thank you for doing all the technical stuff. All I had to do was show up, so thank you very much.
You're welcome, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
So awesome. Oh, yay. So we got a whole celebration plan and everything.
Yes, thank you for all the birthday decorations and everything.
The hat and everything.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. And you look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So what are we talking about today?
Today, I am going to take your questions about Burning Man.
Ooh, awesome.
And as some background, I went last year for the first time, and I have been curious about going for many years before that. I finally had my opportunity last year, and I am happy to dispel any Burning Man myths, tell you what it's like, tell you how to go in the first place, things I learned, mistakes I made. Whatever you want to ask me, I'm ready. And if I don't get enough questions, I have some that people sent me before. And by the way, thank you for all of Heather's followers who just followed me.
You've been getting a lot of followers. Your YouTube channel, your Facebook, your Twitter, it's been going up. You've been doing good lately.
Oh, well, I didn't even know. So thanks for telling me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's see what we got. Oh, Blackjack Player is here. Hey, Blackjack Player. And he says happy birthday.
Thanks, Blackjack Player.
So, yeah, if you guys have any Burning Man questions, how many people ask you Burning Man questions?
I get asked a lot. A lot of people are kind of curious about it. So, after I got back, I had to tell the story so many times. So I made a video. If you go to YouTube and do a search on Burning Man 2018, pretty close, like in the top 10, you should see my video, and the thumbnail has a big rainbow in it with me standing at the bottom. So that's my most successful video.
Wow. About
gambling or otherwise. So that, I think, is a good way to get my interpretation of my experience there. But meanwhile, if we don't have any questions yet, should I pick one from here?
Yeah, well, I got a question.
Sure.
So you said people normally ask you the same types of questions, and they want to know so what is the most common question that you get asked about it? Because the only question that I could think of about Burning Man, I swear to God, my mind immediately goes to drugs. Because I know there's so many drugs there. But yeah, what's the normal questions that you would get?
Usually I just get people to say, what was it like? People, don't really know what to ask. So there's kind of a media blackout about Burning Man.
Why?
Because the organizers, I think they don't really like the media. You never see reporters there. And for Burning Man this year, when you sign up to buy tickets, they really emphasize, in fact, to get a Burning Man account, you have to take a little quiz. And one of the questions is, what should you do with your cell phone at Burning Man? And the correct answer was, put it in your car, lock your car, and don't touch it until you return home. Because they strongly feel, and I agree, that when you go to Burning Man, it's kind of like you're leaving this earth temporarily, and you're going to a completely different place, and you leave the real world behind. And some people would say that Burning Man is the real world, and this place where we are now is just kind of like a jail where we're serving time in between Burning Mans.
So I'm assuming there aren't any millennials there. I can't imagine any millennials letting go of their phone for more than 2 minutes.
I would say that you don't. I would say that it depends on exactly how you define a millennial. You did see, I would say you did see a lot of people in their 30s and up.
Yeah. I would say millennial would be anyone that would be my age or lower.
Yeah. You do see that, but not that much, because despite being a cashless thing, Burning Man is kind of expensive to get to.
So is it like Coachella, where it's that is where you want to be? It's the place to be. Everyone wants to be there.
I've never been to Coachella, so I can't compare to that.
Okay.
But
well, it's more like a music festival. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
the rich of the rich would go there, and that was like their thing, and everyone wanted to be there, and everyone wanted to be a part of it. But it was like only celebrities and that kind of. Is that the same thing?
no, it definitely does not have that kind of vibe.
Okay.
Burning Man is supposed to be dirty and tough.
Oh, dirty. You mean like Mad Max dirty?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, there is no place to have a shower.
What?
There is no place. There's no running water.
No way.
Oh, absolutely. It is in a dry lake bed that is very dusty and it's very hot. The only things you can buy are coffee and ice. And you can buy only those things at one place, and Burning Man is huge.
You can't even buy drinking water?
You can buy the ice and melt it, but you are supposed to go there prepared, and I think they say that you should bring, I think, like 2 or 3 gallons of water per person per day.
Wow.
So one of the 10 principles is self-reliance. So you're not supposed to just come there and I'm at Burning Man. No, you're supposed to do your homework and know what to bring and not mooch off other people.
Do people mooch off other people a lot?
Yeah, in fact, there is a Burning Man term called a sparkle pony, which is a hot chick that just mooches off everybody the whole week and gets away with it quite well. But no, you're not supposed to do that. But then again, another one of the 10 principles is gifting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of contradictory, where you're supposed to be self-reliant, but if someone asks you for something, you're supposed to give it to them.
But that's more of a community thing,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
that's just being a part of the community and helping and humanity and all that.
Yes, and that's another part of the principle, is that it is a community. And and you're supposed to put an emphasis on giving as opposed to taking.
Okay.
So I forgot what the original question was.
I don't know. We just sort of got into a thing there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's see what you guys are saying in the chats. Ha, we have some people laughing. Hey, cool. Yabara says happy birthday, Jason.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And then Chuck, oh yeah, communal living. It's like communal living, basically.
There you go.
Yeah,
Communal
that's a
living.
good way of putting it.
Yeah, I forgot the term for it.
So is it basically the activities that you do there? Is it just your burning beautiful artwork? Is that all there is to do there?
There are so many different reasons that people go to Burning Man. Mm-hmm. And this was the original question, like, is everyone there on drugs?
Oh,
and,
right.
Yeah,
My original question.
Some people definitely go for that reason, because it's kind of like an amnesty zone where I think as long as you're behaving yourself,
everyone's cool with it.
Yeah, everyone's cool with it, and you could just tell that a lot of people were under the influence of something.
Yeah.
So that's certainly a reason some people go. It wasn't my reason. A lot of people go for the community and for at least a week to have this cashless society where everyone is nice to each other. And for me, it was a combination of a lot of things, but for me, the biggest reason is the art. Is I love free art and art for the sake of art and not making a profit. And people spend ungodly amounts of resources to bring huge art things to Burning Man, and at the very end of it, most of it gets burned up. The art is the main thing for me.
So I just got a quick question. Do they build this stuff beforehand and then like truck it in and then just set it down and then that's it? Or do they bring it in like piece by piece and sort of build it, and then by the end when it's done being built, that's when they burn it?
I haven't been there before it starts or after it officially ends, so I don't know a great deal about that. I do know that a lot of the things there, must have been very labor intensive to put together, and I would imagine that they come there with as much of it already assembled as possible and with a game plan about how to assemble the rest of it, the big pieces, once they get there. And what was I going to say? And not all of it gets burned, but like metallic things can't get burned, and you do see a lot of metallic stuff. And a lot of the art is in the form of what are called mutant vehicles, where the whole vehicle is art. And yeah, but there is there's a very strong principle that at the end of Burning Man, you should leave nothing behind. And people will get on your case, like even if you spit a watermelon seed on the ground.
Wow.
Absolutely no trace.
Oh, wow.
Like, I read an article, I think in the New Yorker, about someone who went there, and she said she was scolded because she brushed her hair over the playa as opposed to doing it over a towel because a loose hair might fall on the ground. So that's how extreme some people take it. But where was I going with all this? Yeah, absolutely you must burn or take everything else with you when you leave. The only exception for that is there is a 747 there that got converted into basically a piece of art, and that is allowed to stay there.
Oh, okay. So they don't burn that. So they don't burn everything.
Right. Anything metallic, yeah, they can't burn, and that would get taken home.
Okay.
And by the way, I just came from Reno just last week for my daughter's college graduation.
Ooh,
and
congrats.
Reno, thanks. But there is a fair bit of Burning Man art in Reno. There's 2 pieces right along the Truckee River there.
Oh, cool.
And there's another kind of like a vacant lot across Virginia Street from the Circus that has several pieces of Burning Man art.
Wow.
And I was just so excited to see Burning Man art there because it brought back a lot of good memories.
That's really awesome.
And if you saw it, to be honest with you, in the middle of a city, it might not hit you so hard, but somehow when you see like these great big things in the middle of a dusty desert, these wonderful pieces of art, somehow it just stands out more and it just looks more impressive.
That's really awesome.
Thanks.
That's so cool. So let's check out the comments. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. By the way, let me point out something. We have a chat box right here. This is where the chat box is on your screen right here. The chat should be working. It's not. Don't know why. We'll figure it out later. But that's why you have that big black box right there. The chat should be there. Just wanted to point that out. Another technical difficulty.
Technical difficulties.
Love
what can you do?
Right? It's all, I swear, that's all that live streaming is. It's just one technical difficulty after another. Okay, so comments. Let's see. Dan is wishing you a happy birthday.
Thanks, Dan.
And he says he would bring extra water. Oh, here's a good one. Fun and Games. He asked, is there an entrance fee to enter the Burning Man? How do you get into Burning Man?
One could spend a long time in answer to this question. You absolutely must pay. And tickets are not easy to get. And it's also very complicated in that there's not just one sale, but there's different sales and they have different pricing. For example, this year, what's called the main sale, well, let me start out with the pre-sale. The pre-sale is the first sale to the public, and those tickets are $1,400. This year they released 4,000 of those tickets, and frankly I think those are pretty easy to get because the next sale is called the main sale, and that's where they give out the biggest group of tickets, 23,000. Those are only 425, which is way less than the 1,400, but those are tough. And I and 13 friends of mine tried to get tickets for the 2019 Burning Man at the main sale. 0 of us were successful.
0?
I'm kind of angry about it.
Out of all 13?
Yeah, out of all 13, I had a 0% success rate.
Oh my God,
And
what are the odds of that?
You know, it's probably not that low
Really?
because on Burning Man forums, people were just furious with the way the main sale was organized, and people were bragging about how they cheated the rules and did get tickets. And yeah, but me and all my friends not only didn't cheat, we wouldn't have even known how to cheat. So yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah. But if you don't get a ticket in the main sale, there is another sale that's coming up soon where tickets are $550, but they're only going to release 3,000. So I tend to think it's going to be even tougher to get in that sale.
So what's the difference? Are they getting different things, or are they like allowed? What are they getting for each one of these?
It's exactly the same ticket.
Are you
get
serious?
exactly the same piece of paper.
Really?
There are no like VIP things at Burning Man. Absolutely none. Everybody is supposed to be equal. Supposed to be. And frankly, I don't like how they do it. I think that they should have one price and then open it up to a lottery if there's more demand than tickets.
And they shouldn't allow cheaters.
I'm sure they don't approve of cheating, but there's a lot of people that have been year after year and know how tough it is to get a ticket in this main sale. And I think they all talk with each other about how to cheat whatever the system is. Like, I know that, like, what was really frustrating about the one that just happened recently is you had to basically apply to get a Burning Man profile and then apply to even have a chance in the sale.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, the main sale will be at noon on this date. And I told all my friends, be at your computer ready to click at exactly noon. And we all did, and we all got the screen that said, like, hold on,
Yep.
you're in the queue, don't panic, don't press refresh, just wait your turn in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
And we all sat there looking at the screen for 3 hours. And the people who cheated, like, they refreshed and they did other stuff, and they did things that the screen said not to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like maybe they got the link or something and then they went to the link directly to where the sale was, maybe?
That wasn't the issue. It was not difficult to get the link to click the button to buy tickets. It was just once you clicked it,
Just
nothing
that whole
happened.
thing
You were
that
you just looked at this screen saying you're in the queue for 3 hours.
So really, they need to work on the back end of that.
Yeah, and they got some outside contractor to run the sale, and I think they did a terrible job. Fire those guys. Please consider just going to a random lottery. But yeah, in previous ones, people said that there was ways to get ahead of the queue, like it began at noon, but there were ways to actually, like, put in a different URL and, like, take out the time rule in the URL, and that got you to the front of the line.
That's messed
Yeah.
up.
So yeah, frankly, I hope you can tell I'm kind of angry about it.
Yeah, as you should be. I
Thank
mean,
you.
have every right to be.
Yeah.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, but that's the short version of Burning Man tickets.
So, do you mind if I ask, if you guys didn't have any luck, were you still able to buy one of the other tickets? Are you still going, or do you have to miss it this year?
Okay, first of all, last year I got one of the expensive tickets because a friend of mine was going with a group and someone from her group dropped out. And so I was given the chance to buy her ticket, but again, she got an expensive ticket. And I think most everyone in the group had the expensive tickets. So what could I do?
Yeah.
And what was the second question?
So there are 3 different types of tickets. Since
Yeah.
you guys weren't able to get that one type, were you able to get a different type? Are you still going, or do you have to
Oh,
miss it?
yeah. There is the so-called OMG sale in June.
And that's your
But there's
last-
only 3,000 tickets in that, and all the people who are bidder from the main sale are going to be trying again in that. So my chances are almost zero.
But that's your last chance.
Okay, but I do have a friend, the same
Oh.
very nice friend who invited me last year. She did get through, very surprisingly, and she said
Good.
she would sell me her other ticket, but I don't know for sure I'm going to go because let's just say I don't have the freedom of a single man, and my summers are always busy, and but I really hope to go, and maybe I'll ask as my birthday present permission to go.
Fingers crossed. Well, let's see what people are asking in the chats. Let's see if we have any more questions in the chat. Let's see here. Let's see. Art fan says the 747 is not allowed to stay.
It's not?
That's what he said. I have no idea. And then Yabara says EDC this past week in Vegas is. What's your opinion about the EDC?
Okay, first of all, there is a video on YouTube of someone who went to the Black Rock Desert where they host Burning Man in like the middle of winter, and the 747 was right there.
I just wanted to make sure we.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Maybe they changed the rule on it, but I will say that it has been allowed in the past to stay there. Mm-hmm. That's as far as I'll take that.
Okay.
And my memory is going. I forgot part 2.
Sure. Yabara asked, what is your opinion about EDC? The
Oh yeah,
electric AC
EDC.
car?
I've never been, so I shouldn't say anything bad. about something I've never experienced. I can only know from stories that I hear. My wife is a nurse, and she says the emergency room is packed full of overdose cases from EDC during and immediately following the event because the party keeps going afterwards. I have another friend who's a police officer, and he works that undercover, and he tells... the way he tells it is it's just a big... drug-laden party, and
so like
and just very throbbing music. Yeah, I tend to think this guy would not like Burning Man, and not everyone would.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, but the kind of people I are friends with are not the type to go to EDC. So again, I'm not saying anything bad about it. If you like that type of music and like a young crowd and might like certain drugs to enhance the experience, you'd probably like it, but I don't think you'd probably see many people my age there, and I hate loud music. You would see me there with great big earmuffs, like the kind that construction workers use.
What kind of music do you like? What's your favorite music? What do you normally listen to?
Much like Colors, I hate to narrow it down to just one type, but I like... I definitely, most music that I like could be considered rock, like especially from the 70s and 80s. I do like country music that kind of pushes to the rock side, like I love Emmylou Harris. And certainly like some classical. Some artists I like I love Pink Floyd, Elton John. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, that kind of stuff. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, and you?
Oh, my music is a wide range of music. I listen to everything from techno. An example of that would be the Cynic Project. I love the Cynic Project. To say hard metal, So I love everything and everything in between. There's only two types of music I will not listen to and cannot stand. Don't play country around me, please, and don't do elevator music. Don't do elevator music, don't do country. I don't like either of those. Other than that, we're good. Oh, and surprisingly, I don't like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones.
I'm not going to throw these chips at you for that. I might about not liking country music at all. But so you like the rainbow of music. It's an inside joke from the last...
oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, someone asked me what's my favorite color, and Heather's is a rainbow. Okay, what did I want to say? You notice I didn't put the Rolling Stones or the Beatles on my lists, and yes, they definitely are entitled to their place in rock history. I definitely just absolutely love some Rolling Stones songs.
Which ones?
Like Mother's Little Helper and
Painted Black.
I'm not so crazy about that one, but what's the one? Gosh, the titles are escaping me right now.
Can you sing any?
There's one of them where the line is, "Hope you guessed my name. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name."
Oh,
Sympathy for the Devil?
Oh, I don't know the name of it.
I think that's the name of it.
If you guys know the name of it, put it in the chat or the comments.
And there's another one, Gimme Shelter. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
But, okay, so yes, they have some absolutely great songs, but they have so much stuff that I think most Rolling Stones albums I would kind of like... I'm just going to skip to the song that I like.
Cool. Right on.
But absolutely their musicianship is absolutely outstanding. But, much like the Beatles, I don't like everything that they do. And they have so many fans already, they don't need me.
That's true.
About the Beatles, yes, some of their early stuff I just love. But some songs like Hey Jude, I just don't get why everyone likes it. Na, 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 Hey Jude, over and over. It's so boring.
Well, I mean, there's that one song that's really popular, Mana Mana, and that's all it says throughout the whole song. Like, that's all it is.
That's a Beatles song?
No. Well, Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Manamana, but I love that song.
But who does that's?
Everyone's done that song. Like, that song has been done so much. My favorite version of it is Cake, because they put a lot of extra stuff in there. It's still Manamana, but then you get like the different music types, and they have like one that's Nintendo, reminds me of like Super Mario Brothers, and that's my favorite. Manamana.
Okay. Yeah, that's that. Once that gets into your head, it just stays there for a while.
I'm gonna
that's
be thinking about that for the whole rest of
Yeah.
the day.
You know what song has been in my head lately is that 80s song White Horse.
Oh, which one is that?
It's mainly an electronic kind of music, but it goes, don't ride the white horse, and then it goes into ride the white pony. Okay. And if you want to be rich, don't be a bitch, or something like that. But some people think it's a song about drugs. Some people think it's an anti-drug song. But I heard that on the radio coming home from Reno, and now I can't get it out of my head.
Awesome.
Okay, but no, I'm going to try to turn you on to some country music, because there's a blurry line between country and rock. Next time I take her somewhere, I'm bringing a country music CD. It's Emmylou Harris.
You shouldn't have told me that beforehand.
Well, at least she's going to volunteer to drive now.
Do you want to go hiking? You're going to play that country music for me. Yeah, I'll be driving. So let's go back to the chat. Let's see what you guys are saying.
I thought we were supposed
to
be talking about Burning Man.
Oh, yes, definitely. So Don says, nice hat. Woohoo!
Thanks, Heather.
You got a lot of happy birthdays. Killzone said happy birthday. Donald said happy birthday. Lots and lots of happy birthdays. Donald also asked, what is Burning Man? So for people who don't know what Burning Man is.
Okay. First of all, thank you everyone for the kind birthday wishes. Appreciate it. And what is Burning Man? That is a tough question to answer, and anyone is going to answer it differently, but let me just stick to the facts first. It is a week-long, and you're not supposed to use the word festival. Maybe I can use the word event. An event that starts that encompasses I think the last Monday in August, and it is held in a really hot, dry lake bed in northern Nevada. It's very remote. It is about a 3-hour drive from Reno. So like a 3-hour drive from, say, the nearest restaurant or grocery store. And how shall I put it? There is no access to electricity, water. The only bathrooms are going to be porta potties. It is supposed to be very rough. You're supposed to embrace getting dirty and filthy. So the conditions of it are supposed to be really rough. Some people are what are called glamping now, where they pay an enormous amount of money and someone else feeds them grapes in a plush RV.
Are you serious?
Yes, and and that's not what Burning Man is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a little bit difficult.
So does that mean the Burning Man people who are there, if they see that, they'll give that person crap?
No.
Really?
I would say some of the participants might give them the cold shoulder a little bit.
Okay.
But it's hard to tell who is doing that, because I think a lot of these people are probably just sitting in their air-conditioned RV most of the time.
And what's the point of going?
Okay. Right, exactly. So a big principle of Burning Man is participating and giving. You're not supposed to just observe. Now, I will say that if it's your first time, no one is going to say, hey, Heather, you're not participating enough. No, people will be nice to you, and no one is going to give you a hard time. And you can kind of tell who the beginners are and the virgins are, and they'll give them a pass. Like, one way you can tell is if you hold out someone's hand to shake it. If they shake it back, that means that they're a Burning Man virgin, because you're supposed to hug.
Oh,
and
okay.
and things like that.
So it's a very huggy community.
Yes, and as usual, I forgot what the original question is. So it's just like, what is Burning Man?
Yeah.
So I was just starting like with the setting, and by the way, it's in a dry, dusty lake bed. So you're breathing in dust and getting it all over your body. So I really want to emphasize the toughness of it. But what do you do when you get there? Okay, the whole thing is kind of arranged in a horseshoe shape where the camping area is the horseshoe and everything in the middle of the horseshoe is where you put the public art. And so I love like what's called the Playa. I guess the whole thing is the Playa, but the place where they put the public art. But if
is that like right in the middle, or do they do like surrounding?
Yeah, so it's kind of like 2/3 of a circle. That's the whole camping area. And then in the middle...
Is there a wall around it?
No.
Okay. So could anyone just drive up and like join?
That's a good question. And people have tried to sneak into Burning Man.
Really?
But it is such a remote place. And they do have police that drive around the perimeter. Okay. And if you go to the very edge... I think there is like a little fence, but it would be very easy to hop over. But you see a lot of police and pickup trucks just driving back and forth, and it's not like there's trees where you can just suddenly hop out of.
Right,
there is no tree within 100 miles of Burning Man.
There's really not much of anything. You don't even have cactuses. You don't have anything. The dry lake bed, you're just, that's that.
There's nothing living there.
Yeah, so they would see you coming from like 100 miles,
yes,
right? Not 100, but you know what I mean.
Now, I do think that I saw someone trying to sneak in at night.
Ooh.
And the police got them. Now, I don't know if they were trying to sneak in, but they were past the gate and running, and the police got them. So, yeah, it's difficult to sneak in. I don't approve of it either. But okay, once you go there, there's a lot of art. There's a lot of partying going around in the camping area. I mean, there's just hundreds of places you can go to and party, and there's a whole booklet of planned activities you can do.
Wow. Is this booklet online? Could anyone go and see like what there is to do
Probably.
there?
I should have brought my booklet, but say it's 4:00 in the afternoon. There are going to be like 50 different organized activities you can do, and it will tell you where you can do it because the whole thing has a certain street system.
Oh.
And a lot of people go for the partying, the art, the music. There's all kinds of music. Certainly, probably an emphasis on again electronic dance music, but you see everything. And
do you see country?
That would probably be something you didn't see a whole lot of. I do recall that there was one place you could go to that emphasized country music.
So everyone was represented.
Yeah, but to be honest, I kind of think that on average, the kind of person who likes country music probably, and I hate to stereotype, probably would not like Burning Man. You know, I do like both, so I'm an exception. But where was I going with all this? I'm trying to describe what Burning Man is.
So what is Burning Man to you? Besides all the facts and everything, like what is it to you?
Okay, well, I I already talked about how much I like the art, but to me it's also like an escape. Like once you're there, you really do leave the real world behind, and everyone has a Playa name, and it's almost a cashless society, and everyone is like really nice, and it is so. I mean, I have traveled all over the world, but I have never been to such a place that is so different from Las Vegas than Burning Man. So it really is a way to really like leave your problems behind, leave everything behind, and just be in a completely different place for a week.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
So that's what it means to me. But again, people go for different reasons and take away different things.
Okay. Cool.
And everyone should, I think you would say, have their own burn and get out of it what they want.
Very cool. So let's go to the chats. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chats. Another congratulations and happy birthdays and a lot of that. Let's see. And a lot of thanks, too, for your work.
You're welcome.
Let's see here. So the Art Fan is saying the 747 was towed off to private land. Was that recently, or was that when was that? Let us know. And then lots more happy birthdays. Let's see. You got a few people asking if they can gamble with you when they're in town. So that's fun. And lots of happy birthdays. Yep, the Muppets, totally Jay. Hi Jay. Jay's here. Woo. And let's see. Okay, so Donald asked, "Is there music?" So you explained why there's music.
Definitely.
We do have a really good question. Baba Booey asked, "Why is it so expensive?"
I don't think it really is that expensive. Even if you buy the expensive ticket, which is $1,400 this year, consider that buys you a solid week there, so that comes to $200 a day.
Are you actually getting anything for that money, or is that money just allowing you to be there?
That just allows you to be there. You have to bring all your own stuff.
So you have to worry about food and water and supplies in the RV.
Absolutely. So you have to buy all that stuff in advance, and it's in a very remote location, so just getting there is going to be logistically complicated for people. But a huge expense is something to stay in. And I know I was just bad-mouthing RVs, but not all RVs are bad. Most people stay in one.
So when they go to Burning Man, usually people who go will bring an RV?
Yeah, people will rent
common?
one.
Okay.
And they are very expensive to rent Burning Man week. And everyone in the Western United States knows this.
Really?
And will probably... I hear that an RV rental, I think, is about $10,000 for that week. And this is just an ordinary RV, nothing fancy.
So it's not like I could rent the RV like a year in advance and be like, hey, I'm going to pay in advance. It's just, that doesn't bring the price down. You're just going to have to pay that amount no matter what.
I would probably recommend planning in advance, but every RV rental place is going to know that they can charge practically whatever they want that week.
Dang.
So that's probably going to be your biggest expense. So is
that why it's common for when people go to Burning Man, they go as a group and then they just go in one RV and like as a group?
Yes.
Are they splitting that? Is that what?
Yeah, that's what we did, and I think that's a good way to go because you're already going with your friends, and it's definitely more fun to go if you're with friends. Like, I think a group of 8 would be like a good number.
Is there enough room in the RV for people to sleep 8 people?
It would depend. Like with my group, I was not allowed to sleep in the RV. So
where did you sleep, on the roof?
I brought a tent, but I was okay with it. I have done a lot of backpacking and mountain climbing, so I would like to think that I can tough things out.
Oh yeah, you're freaking incredible. You go and you walk on those mountains for like what? How many days? And you're like up in the mountain. The stuff he does, I swear, man. Like, I've seen the pictures and I'm like, I could never do that in my life, in my entire life. That was only because I didn't know I was going to do it until I actually did it, and that was because of you.
That was this mountain here in Vegas I dragged Heather on.
Yeah, and he didn't tell me that we were going to do it. He's like, oh, let's go hiking. Okay, sure, hiking sounds nice. Oh, we're going to climb a mountain. Well, you didn't tell me we were going to climb a mountain. And then we're like up at the mountain. He's like, you climbed a mountain. I'm like, I'm dying.
Well, I never said we weren't climbing a mountain. And I like to challenge people, shall we say.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but I forgot what we were talking about again.
Let's go to the chat. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. Again, a lot of happy birthdays and everything. Dylan, thanks for skipping my comment. Okay, let's see what Dylan's comment is. Dylan, thanks for skipping my comment. I don't see your comment.
Ask it again.
Yep, ask it again, Dylan. I don't see your comment. I looked.
Let's see another question or comment.
Another comment is the Art Fan. Art Fan is still on the 747. We're going to get off of that. Yabara says, hit 4 deuces 4 times this past 4 days while in Vegas. Woohoo! Palace Station was not very good for video poker. Was surprised. Let's see here.
If there's no Burning Man questions, we could ask one from my 5 pages of them.
Okay. Yeah, because the only other question we have is Art Fan, and he's asking about, have you thought about forming a casino-type theme camp? That would be a blast.
That's not a bad idea. I will say that Burning Man is definitely supposed to be a cashless thing, but I think it would be perfectly appropriate to have a mock casino there.
But you would have to bring all those tables. That would be so, much.
Yeah, but people spend an ungodly amount of effort bringing stuff there. So in comparison to what other people do, it would really be quite easy.
So besides RVs, do you have people like driving up to Burning Man in, say, moving trucks?
I'm sure you do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, now that I think about it, I did see
a lot of
great big
trucks.
trucks there. But the people who have privileges for something really big are allowed to go early and set it up, and then they probably leave with the truck and probably come back later in a normal vehicle.
I wonder if any of them use Mack trucks. I'm just curious.
How come when people say, "Oh, I felt like I got hit by a truck," it's always a Mack truck?
Because that would probably be the most devastating.
So it's worse than like an international truck?
Well, I mean, if you're going to say you're hit by like a car, I don't know, you say you're hit by a car or a truck, I think like one of those little bugs, the electronic ones that like it looks like you could just push it over or lift it up. Like, oh, it's a love tap.
No, I think it's probably because Mack truck just sounds like very manly, international truck is too much of a mouthful.
Probably.
Okay. Oh, but here's a question a lot of people ask me is about the nudity.
Oh, there's nudity there?
Oh, absolutely.
What, people just walk around nude?
Especially the men.
So it is like a casino.
Oh, yeah, we weren't done about the casino. I think I would... the only gambling I did there was some cribbage games when I was relaxing between excitement, and I did some gambling on dildo wrestling, which is one of the planned activities. That's
dildo wrestling?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah, so you put one on and you tried to knock someone else off the beam. And me and my one of the people I went with were gambling I think that...
It's just wrong that they don't want you to use your phone, because I need pictures of that. I just need pictures of that. And
there are much better things to take pictures of there.
I don't know, two people, that sounds
that is tame picture compared to what you see at Burning Man.
What else is there?
Have you heard about the Orgy Dome?
Orgy? Like an actual, they're in the, and it's just...
Okay, from what I hear, an Orgy Dome may not be the best term for it, but what you can expect to go in there is, first of all, you have to go in as a couple. Definitely a single male would not go in.
Wait. Would a single female be allowed in?
I read the rules and it said couples only.
Okay.
But I really bet they would let in a single female. But a single female is not going to have any trouble finding a man to go with. If I may stereotype, where was I going? Oh yeah, but it's basically, from what I hear, just like a bunch of mattresses, and
wow.
and people are just having sex, and I think that some of them will go from mattress to mattress. And,
wow.
And there's, by the way, and I've heard there's two rooms. One is I think it's called the I'm Open to Anything room, and the other is Just Us room.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like people dancing like what you might imagine from a 1970s orgy.
So
it's just...
is it like in a... So when you say a room, are you talking about they go into an RV and the RV is the room, and then that's where...
It's basically like a great big tent.
Oh, like one of those circus tents?
I wouldn't... It doesn't look like a circus tent. I think it's just like a bunch of... just like a bunch of blankets.
Oh, okay.
But it's really quite big.
Okay. Is it as big as, say, a room, or is it like one of those normal tents that you use for camping?
I would say that the whole thing is probably about 5,000 square feet, which is the size of a like a 6-bedroom house.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah,
okay.
But not all of it is the part with the beds. I've heard there is a waiting room.
You've heard it.
After
you haven't gone in there?
No, there's first you have to get past the gatekeeper to prove.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and then there is someone who like reads you the rules. And there's two rules they really emphasize. Is one is consent, and the other is absolutely no phones. You can't even like bring out a phone to see what time it is. They say if we see a phone, we will smash it. So,
have you ever seen anyone get their phone smashed?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not claiming I've ever been in, so I'm just going by what I've heard.
Because I know you're not allowed to have phones like in Burning Man.
You can.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I was talking about that before, but yeah, I saw a lot of phones.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people lose their phones too. So if you do bring one or bring anything valuable, write your name on it and preferably your campsite number or phone number. Because I went to the Lost and Found once, and there was just like screens and screens and screens on the computer of lost phones, and that was just the lost phones. But where was I going with this? Yes, I absolutely saw people taking a lot of pictures with cell phones, but this year they're really emphasizing that you're supposed to just put your cell phone in your car and lock it, and because I guess people were abusing that again and again. It's supposed to be like you take away experiences, not pictures. But I'm guilty. I took plenty of pictures of art, and it's all on that video that I talked about earlier. Okay, but also, but if you have your own camp, you can have whatever rules you want. So the Orgy Dome would have their own rules. But getting back to the nudity. Yeah, you will see a lot of it, especially male nudity, as usual with any kind of like place that allows it. You will see a fair number of topless women, but I would say for every one topless woman, you will see probably 5 totally naked men. Okay,
and is it all designated in like one area, or are these people just walking around the entire Burning Man? Like you're just at Burning Man and you see like naked people walk by?
Yeah, they are everywhere. You will see them everywhere.
Okay.
Especially like in the place where people camp.
Okay.
And you might see even more of them there's a lot of camps that are obviously for socializing and meeting new people. You might see even more of it there, like places that serve free alcohol. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, become prepared to see that, or don't go at all.
So they don't bring water, but they bring free alcohol.
No, people I'm sure bring water too. But again, it's supposed to be a giving thing, and a lot of people what they give is my camp is a bar, and come in here and have free drinks.
So is that when everyone is at Burning Man and they're all like in the circle and do they all offer something free? Like they all have something each like free that they give away, or is that just something that some people do?
Okay, not everyone goes there and gives away something. You are supposed to, like it is supposed to be a community, and gift giving is one of the 10 principles, but it is a myth that you're supposed to barter for everything. Not once did anyone try to barter with me. And strangers just didn't hand you gifts a lot. You just didn't see that. I think what most people gave back was if it wasn't an art installation or an art car, then they had, some kind of camp where there was some sort of entertainment that was free to the public.
Oh, okay.
Be it an orgy dome or dildo wrestling or a bar, or some people just gave out hot dogs. A lot of people had kind of a sense of humor. Like one example is I went to one camp and it said, this is the cult of the blah, blah, blah. And so I was kind of curious, and I said, I'm interested to join your cult. And then it just got, I won't even tell the story, but it was just kind of, the whole thing was kind of not a real cult, but kind of just like a funny thing.
Okay, cool. Let's check out the comments. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. If you guys have anything else in there. Let's see. Are there any overdoses or injuries? Fun and Games asks if overdoses or injuries are common. And he also says the Orgy Dome sounds like a public health hazard.
Okay, I will start with the last thing first. Is I hear that at the Orgy Dome they give out free condoms.
Oh, well, that's good.
I think they make it as safe as
they can.
That they can, and I think the kind of people that would go to that in the first place probably are smart enough to to take reasonable precautions anyway.
Yeah, hopefully they're
Yeah.
not the people infested with the STDs.
Yeah, no, I would hope they would have the courtesy to not go in the
Right?
first place.
Serious.
And as usual, I forgot what the first questions were.
So let's see. Fun and Games asks, are there any overdoses or
Oh,
injuries?
yeah. I certainly don't have any statistics on that, but I will say that there are like 6 different medical tents around Burning Man. And so if anything did happen, it's supposed to be an emergency. You shouldn't like ask for a Band-Aid,
Okay.
but they do have medical care available for emergencies. I'm just based on what I observed. Yeah, I'm sure that there are overdose problems there. But I have absolutely no statistics on that.
I wonder, I'm really curious to know what the overdose statistics are when you compare EDC with Burning Man.
I would probably think EDC is probably worse.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Yeah, and sadly, Burning Man crime is not non-existent. I think the biggest problem is sexual assaults.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and when you leave, like there's a great big flashing sign that says "Report Burning Man crimes to this phone number."
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's not all good,
Okay.
So.
Okay, so be aware of sexual assault and stealing, maybe?
I would say there's probably not a whole lot there to steal because people aren't supposed to be bringing valuable stuff there. But bike theft though. That's another thing people gripe about on Burning Man sites is people borrowing without asking their bikes. And everyone goes there with a bike because it's really quite big and it takes a while to get from one place to another. And bicycles are so convenient. But yeah, I've read story after story about people's bikes just disappearing. So yeah, sadly, if you bring a bike, you should lock it.
So, okay, I was going to ask, do they have places where they could be locked, where the bikes could be locked?
There are some places, like at the main camp, there are bike racks. And by the main things like the Burning Man and the temple.
But only the major.
Yeah, only the major stuff will have bike racks, and frankly, it can be a problem. Like let's say one camp is a popular bar. People will just scatter bikes all over the place because there's no place to actually like stand them up. Okay. So they will be cluttering up the street and probably cluttering up the camp, and so the organizers could do a better job of putting places where people could park bikes at the lesser attractions.
So I'm just curious, I got my own question. The organizers, what do they do for Burning Man besides provide porta potties?
That's a good question. What do they spend all this money? Like 100,000 people go, and if everyone pays, say, $1,000 a piece, that's $10 million. What do they spend the money on? Certainly, the porta potties do get a lot of attention. There are hundreds of them, and they get serviced 2 or 3 times a day. So they keep them as clean as they can because they're used around the clock.
Is there a line?
Sometimes there will be a line. Usually, you can just walk right up. But I would say, like maybe in the mornings where people are more inclined to go. Sometimes you do see a line. And I'm sure that they have to shell out money for the police. To help protect it, and the department, what's it called, the Bureau of Land Management, and outside of Burning Man, I don't think a lot of people know this, but my camp, I had an awful location that was at the very edge of the whole circle, but you could see off in the distance these huge places with lots of trailers and bright lights, and it looked very industrial, and this must have been where the places where the workers stayed. And there were lots of them, and I think that there is a whole lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes to keep it running, and Burning Man, I believe, claims to be a non-profit organization. I've never heard of anyone getting rich from it, and whenever you go to the Burning Man website, you will get plenty of opportunities to make a donation. So I don't think it's a for-profit thing.
I'm I'm really curious to know what goes, like, where most of that money goes. Like, I understand, like, porta potties and especially hiring, like, policemen to, you know, help. Like, that's really expensive. But $10 million? I'm really curious to know, you know.
Well, I do know that they ask for volunteers wherever they can. But I bet with the cleanup, it's probably not all volunteers. It's even though everyone is supposed to take everything that they brought with them out, you know, I'm sure there's still a lot of public stuff that needs to be removed. You know, like the first aid tents and things like that.
That's a good point.
And with all this stuff that gets burned down, you know, all that stuff has to be removed too somehow.
That's a good point. Plus the medical tents, they probably pay for the medical tents too.
And, and this stuff, and this whole thing is in a very remote location. So anyone who works there, you're going to have to.
And then you have to drive them up there and then feed them. And okay, that's a good point.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Let's see here. A few groups nude bike during the week as well. That's interesting.
Yep, they do.
In
fact, I think there's a nude race.
Nude race, really?
Yeah, I don't know the distance of it, but I just saw like a bunch of naked men running, and I think some of them had like body painted a number on them, if I remember correctly.
So they're so they have to have shoes on, right? Or are they running barefoot?
Oh no! Oh yeah, they absolutely would have shoes on because that playa is hot.
Okay.
And not that anyone asked, but the biggest mistake I made was I spent a lot of time in sandals. And
that's not good.
No.
Why?
Because the dust there is alkalinic. And it's so if you're exposed to enough of it, you'll get a chemical burn.
Oh.
Yes, and I got a really bad one, but fortunately it didn't hit until I was driving home.
Still.
Yes.
So what did that feel like?
It was so painful. Every single step was just excruciating. And even when you weren't walking, it was still painful.
So did it feel like a burn? Like, was it a burning sensation?
It wasn't like like my foot was in a fire, but it's hard to explain. It just felt like I just really wanted to clean my feet and put them in water and just like someone put like a very stinging kind of chemical on them.
How long did that last?
Okay, well, I started to notice this maybe actually like the last day, but it wasn't bothering me that much.
You just
but on
like
the drive by the
irritation?
time, but I would say that as I was leaving the whole drive back to Vegas, which is like a 12-hour drive, it kept getting progressively worse and worse and worse. And I searched on this and found out what I just said, that it was that the sand there is alkalinic, and it threw the pH in my skin totally off balance.
Wow.
And so what the proper way to cure that is, first of all, you should clean your feet with something called what's the name of it? It's a certain kind of soap that matches this alkalinic pH.
Okay.
And so that way the soap is not like fighting your feet because it's already the same acidity. Mm-hmm. So that way it like helps to effectively clean it. But the more important thing is to soak your feet in a solution of water and vinegar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
vinegar?
Absolutely vinegar.
Okay.
And yeah.
So
and that pretty much cured it within like 3 days.
Oh.
But even immediately upon putting my feet in just cold water and vinegar, it just felt so good.
How long did you have to soak your feet in cold water and vinegar? I mean, I know you said 3 days, but like how long were your feet actually in the cold water and vinegar?
They were in there for hours at a time. I mean, they probably didn't need to be, but they hurt if I took it out.
Oh, wow.
So I was just sitting there at my computer watching TV with my feet in this stuff.
Oh, my
But I was
gosh.
happy because it was so much worse than the actual burn. So if you go to Burning Man, don't wear sandals. Definitely don't go barefoot. Protect your feet well. Socks and shoes.
Very good tip to
That
have.
is the most important tip I could give anyone.
That's a really, really good tip.
Thanks.
Let's see if anyone else is saying anything in the comments. And let's see here. Art Fan says you could see where the money goes by the BM tax returns. They're public. So I guess their tax returns are public, and you can see where the money goes.
That's a good question. I haven't read
pretty
the tax
cool.
return, but yeah, I strongly favor public organizations disclosing that, including presidents
Especially
too.
nonprofits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see our hour is up. By the way, I know we started late, so sorry to the audience. But, I think there's still plenty to be asked, so we should do this again sometime.
I would love that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Heather, for hosting this and doing all the technical stuff.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Thanks again.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the audience for showing up, all your questions, and all the good birthday wishes. And are you good to do this next Thursday, 3 o'clock?
Yeah, next Thursday at 3 o'clock. Sounds
Okay,
good.
so let's try to make it a regular thing. So I'll see you guys next week. Anything else to say, Heather?
No, just happy birthday, and I hope you have a great day. And
Let's let Pip say hi to the audience. Hi, audience.
Hi. She's been at her feet the whole time. She's like, let me up. You're just ignoring me. This isn't right. She was so excited when she saw Mike too today. So awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks you guys
again,
so
guys.
much for showing
Bye.
up. See you later.